We will drill, baby, drill.
We've heard it on the campaign trail, on Inauguration Day, and so far throughout this presidential term. But will oil companies answer the call when President Trump has this price target in mind?
Energy is going to bring us back. That means we're going down and getting gasoline below $2 a gallon.
By Trump's account, we've already hit that.
The gas has gone to the lowest level in decades, and you're seeing $1.99, $1.98, and I saw $1.95.
But the data directly disputes this. On Monday, the national average was $3.10 per gallon, while in the state with the cheapest gas, Mississippi, the cheapest county boasted $2.50 at the pump. Still, the president continues his command to push prices down.
Drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill. I got to make sure that people can afford to produce the gas.
But energy experts told Straight Arrow News the price contradicts the policy. I want to bring in SAN's energy reporter, Keaton Peters now. Keaton, you're all over this one. Tell me, what does it take to get gas around or below $2 a gallon?
Yeah, thanks, Simone, for having me. I think it helps to start by understanding that the price of gasoline that we pay at the pump and the price of a barrel of crude oil have a very direct relationship. A little over 50% of that price per gallon at the pump is determined by how much a barrel of crude oil costs. So historically, the last time that we saw gasoline as at a national average at $2 a gallon was during the pandemic. At that time, crude oil produced in the US was costing about $38 a barrel. So you really need to see lower crude oil prices in order to get $2 a gallon. Now, there's a few other things like the cost of refining and state and federal taxes that factor into how much we pay at the pump, but a lot of it is attributed to crude oil.
As we're talking right now, Keaton, the price per barrel is in the 60s range, give or take. Where's the price where oil companies would want to drill, baby, drill?
Yeah, the sources I spoke to said that in order to have a substantial increase in how much oil companies in the US are drilling, they probably want to see prices above $70, $75 a barrel. Right now with it in the 60s, we'll probably see things stay about the same, maybe a slight decrease. There's an interesting survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas that says, if prices per barrel get into the 50s, then over 90% of big oil and gas companies are going to start reducing how much they drill compared to what they expect. So definitely, if you want to drill, baby, drill, you don't want those prices to get into the 50s. In the 60s, you might see it. It depends on the company. Some of them might be okay. Some would start to slow down their drilling. But above 70 is where experts say you need those prices to be to give the oil companies an incentive to take on the capital expenses of drilling new oil wells, which can be quite costly.
Yeah. So price is one thing and how much people are paying at the pump. Are there other factors at play here for why oil companies may or may not want to expand drilling right now?
Yeah, oil is a global market, so a lot more is at play here than just what policies we have here in the US. One of them is China, where projections are that oil demand is going to slow down, and it's probably even going to peak in the next few years and start to decline from where it is. China is the largest consumer of oil in the world right now. So they're going to start to consume less oil than they are right now. At the same time as, that demand might be slowing down, we're also seeing that there's going to be more supply from countries like Saudi Arabia and other nations in the OPEC oil cartel are actually starting to increase production again after having had some restrictions on how much oil they were producing in previous years. They're unwinding those restrictions, so there's going to be even more oil flooding into the market. What that means is, the oil companies are probably looking at this and saying, there's a little bit less demand, there's a little more supply. That's going to lead more likely to lower prices.
What is the Trump administration doing right now to try to increase drilling here in the United States despite these factors?
Yeah, they've definitely been making this a priority. There were executive orders early on opening up more federal land for drilling is really the main way that they're going about this. The One Big Beautiful Bill that just passed earlier this year has some mandates for how much federal land has to be offered up to these companies in the coming years, as well as offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. The problem is that a lot of the experts I speak to said that this is going to be marginal at best, that these actions definitely will, send that signal of if you want to drill, it's going to be easier. But I was told that there's nothing in there that's a catalyst that would overcome these economic factors that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm. And to read exactly what these experts told Keaton Peters, you can search for his story at SAN.com and the SAN app. Search for Drill Baby Drill to get the story. Keaton Peters, SAN's energy reporter. Thank you so much, Keaton.
Yeah, thanks for having me.